Is Estes Park really a good place to live? Is it really a place that you would want to move to, bring your kids and family to? And is it really a good distance away from some of the things that you're really looking for when moving up here to northern Colorado? That is going to be the goal of this video today. The majority of our time, we have spent our time down in the northern foothills of northern Colorado, exploring Fort Collins, Loveland, Windsor, Timnath, and all of those areas. Now it's time to get into some of those more exploratory areas of northern Colorado, areas that are really small towns that really don't offer big town amenities and typically have to have a little bit longer of a drive. So today we are going to run through Estes Park, Colorado, see if it's really a town that's worth living in. If it is on that side, what else is available there other than some of the kind of touristy stuff that is available in Estes Park? And is it going to be a place that's really going to fit you guys if thinking about moving here to northern Colorado versus some of the other areas that I have talked about in some of my other videos? And so let's rock through this today. Let's see if Estes Park is actually as cool as people say it is. And let's feel if it's something that can be a good part of northern Colorado, or is it just a tourist destination for 4 million individuals each year? As always, my name is Connor Martin with Souk Up Real Estate Services. We love helping our buyers get to the best information possible about moving to northern Colorado and just the different areas that are around here. And if you're ever thinking about moving here, please reach out to us. We love helping out you guys as individuals. And if you guys do like this information, please like, subscribe, and share to my videos. And we will continue each week bringing you guys some of the best information possible to make your guys' decision that much easier when moving here to northern Colorado. Let's jump into it, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. So my first pro, and probably the biggest pro of living in Estes Park, is obviously going to be living so goddamn close to Rocky Mountain National Park. That is by far the coolest thing, to be able to walk out your backyard and take a 5-minute drive up to some of the coolest hiking spots possible. One of the best ones is Long's Peak. It's one of the biggest peaks we have up here in northern Colorado, and one of the funnest hikes that I've been able to experience and do. It is a little bit more challenging as you go to the top, but it is a hike that you can jump off at different parts. If you only want to go in a couple miles, that's great. If you want to make it all the way to the top and do the hair scramble parts, that's awesome as well. But you have a spot from 7,000 feet where Estes Park downtown is. Loveland, Colorado is closer to the 5,000 foot mark. And they have Long's Peak, which sits around 14,200 feet. So there's a lot of elevation gain to make when living in Estes Park and going and exploring. And that is really the biggest reason. You know, when I moved up to Bozeman, Montana, it was really the same feel that Estes Park had when I first moved there. Smaller town, you know, one grocery, a couple gas stations, you know, a couple little fun spots to go hang out, a couple local restaurants. But that was really about it. And then the rest of it was about going out and exploring the mountains, going out and skiing, going out and enjoying the outdoors. And so Estes Park really brings that game strongly to that side. And they do have the infrastructure, you know, for a lot of small towns like Netherlands, which is a little bit further to the southwest. You also have like Ouray, Colorado, which is way south of Colorado. Some of those towns are a lot smaller, a lot harder to get into. You know, Estes Park has a lot of hotels so that you go up and explore and stay there, where some of these other places don't. And so Estes Park really has the best setup for going out and having fun and being able to come back to a really fun town to be able to grab a meal or do something fun later at evening like axe throwing. My second big benefit of living in Estes Park is that even though it doesn't have the best infrastructure, I mean, it's a small town. It only takes you a few minutes to really drive around the town if you're really that interested on that side. And a lot of it is just spread out neighborhoods with gas stations kind of, you know, put in between those areas. And so to me, Estes Park, you know, does have the infrastructure. They do have a local hospital there as well. So you really don't ever have to leave Estes Park to go out and have fun or go out and do stuff. Now, on the other hand, it gets a little more expensive up there. So a lot of people will take that 30-minute drive down the canyon to go to Loveland, Colorado to grab their groceries, to grab bigger things, go to the Sam's Club, maybe go to some of the dentists down here. And so even though you're 30 minutes away from Estes Park and Loveland, it's really not that bad of a drive. And a lot of people say that it's really, you know, a drive that's pretty enjoyable on that side. My third and final pro of living in Estes Park, Colorado is really going to be the people. The people there are awesome, amazing, fun to talk to. Everyone has stories. A lot of people who are up there are semi-retired. So you have a lot of friends that you can go out and do stuff. If you're a big fan of biking on the roads, there are going to be more than enough bikers out there that are going to be able to give you that. If you're a big hiker, there are plenty hiking clubs out there if you're a single individual and wanting to meet friends. If you're wanting to go out and, do a little bar hopping at night, there's plenty of that as well on that side. And so no matter what, you've got yourself covered in terms of fun. That's really the case of it, and Estes Park really delivers on that side. And those would be my top pros of living and thinking about even going and moving to Estes Park. If I didn't work so much down in the northern Colorado area, have to travel and commute down to Denver, Estes Park would definitely be a spot that I would be looking at, just for the fact of being closer and closer to the actual Rocky Mountains. Living in Loveland, living in Fort Collins, people always talk about the Rocky Mountains, but down here, you're looking at them. When you're up at Estes Park, you're living in them. And it is a total complete difference when, you're truly thinking about that in that way. And that's what really changed and, made a big difference for me moving from Bozeman, Montana to Loveland, Colorado. Bozeman, Montana, I lived in the mountains. Loveland, Colorado, I get to see the mountains. And so depending on what you're looking for, Estes Park definitely can bring that value. So here are my top negatives. And, the one hard part about Estes Park is that I probably personally see more negatives living in Estes Park versus, say, a Loveland or Fort Collins. Because the best part is you're 25 to 40 minutes away, depending on where you live here down in northern Colorado. And getting up to Estes really isn't that hard, and it's actually kind of a fun, exciting time to be able to go up and do it. So some of the big negatives that I've seen and I've heard about from residents up living in Estes Park is, one, the tourists. It is fun to have tourists around, and it brings a lot of, ability to people watch. It's amazing the individuals that come through here from out of country to go up to Estes Park to check it out. I never really saw it, Estes Park is a true destination place for out of country individuals, but I guess the way that it looks, a lot of individuals love coming out here to check out Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National Park. So dealing with the 4 million individuals coming in and out of this town, that is only a population of about 5,000 people, can be pretty insane. The traffic in the summertime increasing significantly. Trying to get up to Estes Park from Loveland during the busy time of summer, especially on those nice days where it's, 75 degrees, sunny out, more than likely you're going to have a challenge, and it's going to add an extra 15 to 20 minutes plus to your drive getting up there. And that means also coming back down as well. If you're a resident up there trying to get down to go shopping here and then trying to make your way back up, you're going to be fighting traffic, and people who don't know how to drive in the mountains don't know how to not look at other things when they're in the mountains. And so driving is going to be a little bit slower and a little bit more painful come summertime. Number 2 is going to be the town does shut down come wintertime. At least back when I was there in 2016, I remember probably hit November, December time, Estes Park slowly shut down. A lot of the restaurants would go kind of dead. They'd keep very minimal staff. The food would start kind of slacking and start tasting worse as you hit wintertime. And as you get to summertime, it definitely bumped up. It started tasting better. And that's just because you have an influx of actual employees coming in and out of Estes Park on a constant basis. And what I mean by that is that we have a lot of foreign students and people who are doing exchange programs coming to Estes Park, Colorado to work at the restaurants here. And it can also create kind of a language barrier, but it also kind of can create good and bad food or good and bad service depending on it. So when moving to Estes Park and eating at restaurants in Estes, be prepared for a little bit longer wait, be prepared for maybe not as good of quality food depending on where you go. And so something just to keep aware of. My last deal that I'm going to say that I would say is a negative of living in Estes Park, Colorado, is that you're going to be kind of struggling for a job. If you're really thinking about moving to Estes Park without a job plan, that's going to be the challenge. You're not going to have an easy time finding a job there. If you're a high school student, younger, maybe a little bit older than that, college, there are some really fun jobs out there, from horseback riding, ATVs, 4x4 off-road tours, and there are a lot of really cool jobs there that, unfortunately don't pay the best, but they also do give you some really fun experiences that you wouldn't get living down here in Loveland, Colorado. So job-wise, just know that coming to Estes Park, either know you're going to want a job that is remote or have a job that is relatively close to you if it's up in Estes or if it's down in Loveland or Fort Collins. Those are still obtainable areas to get to if you live in Estes Park. And so just something to keep your mind on that side. I know there are a lot of pros and cons and a lot more information I really would like to share with you guys about Estes Park. It is so hard to fit everything into these videos, and I wish I had more time to be able to do this, but then I could probably have a 4-hour video on Estes Park. So hopefully if you guys ever have any questions about Estes, Loveland, Fort Collins, or any areas, we can be a really good resource for you guys to see really what's worthwhile coming out and checking out if thinking about moving to northern Colorado. And just knowing that you got someone that's got your back when it comes to finding a home, knowing about the locations, knowing about the jobs, knowing about the industries. That's what we're experts at. We really know how to figure out, and we've been around long enough to know what these areas are like. And when it truly comes down to buying your home, we are also experts on that side as well. And we always love helping our clients find their next true home here up in northern Colorado. I really hope you guys like these videos. If you guys could, again, please like, subscribe, and share. And we will wait for next week when we start running through Red Feather, Colorado and Livermore, Colorado. So the last two places that are kind of the fun, exciting places to live if you're thinking about moving to northern Colorado. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and we'll see you next week.